Welcome, everyone, to episode 41 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I'm Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, do we want to pick berries today?
Or do we want to accidentally throw them out?
That's right. And this episode, we're going to be talking about Forager by HopFrog. This game came out in April of 2019. And I played this on the PC. Tom, as usual, played it on the Xbox. It was, again, 170.19 megabytes for the PC. Tom, what about on the Xbox?
284.7 megabytes, which is very small by comparison to some of the other games that we've played, but still 50% larger on the Xbox One for some reason. I don't know.
Very strange. Yeah, very tiny game, very quick to install. So that was cool. But
I appreciated it.
Yeah. But what kind of game is this?
They call it an adventure game. And I don't know. I thought it was more of a third person, like action crafting game. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
I put a 2D exploration game. So in the same way as like a Minecraft or something like that, where you're just collecting stuff and building stuff, etc. I mean, granted, there's no you're not like building like the crazy things that people do in Minecraft, or maybe they do. I don't know. We only played an hour of this.
But it is like isometric, I guess. It's like that weird top-down kind of view. Because when I hear third person, sometimes I think, from behind the character, but that's not what's going on here. This is like original Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what do you have for the game loop, Chris?
I put collect materials to build stuff and then build more stuff.
Mine is nearly identical, which I appreciate since we did not plan this in advance. I have harvest resources to make crafting stations so that you can harvest resources to make different things.
Go, people. That's how we do it here. We do shows long enough, our minds start to meld. So
it's the same person.
Yeah, we are the same person, just different sides of the shade. I don't know. I'm clearly darker, so there you go. So, what do you like about this game?
Okay, I think first of all, I want to point. I think it's important to mention that this game is very simple, but also very addicting. So, like, there are lots of games that are very simple and very addicting, and they are very good because of it. And this is one of those kinds of games. There's not a whole lot of mechanics here, right. And that's okay, I think.
I agree with you on that. It was very quick to get in. The music was good in the sense it was just like a nice chill music, a background music, and as you're kind of going through your day, collecting stuff and all that. I also thought at the very beginning when you launch the game, I don't know if it's for the first time or every time you launch the game, they say like thank you so much for supporting this game and all that stuff. The developers put that in there. So that was kind of cute. And yeah, it was like you said, it's very easy to pick up and go and figure out what to do. But there's I'm sure there's other things that that were nice, and I'm sure there's other things that we probably didn't pick up on because we only played like an hour of it. Because I saw like from the screenshots, there's like bosses that you fight and all this. I didn't even get to that part at all.
Did you fight any bad guys at all?
I did not.
Oh, I did.
Oh, did you leave that first island?
Yes.
See, I never did.
but I fought my bad guys on my first island.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do they just pop up?
Yep.
Huh.
They spawn just like the trees and the things that you, yep,
Oh,
just show up. Skeleton men.
interesting. Okay, well that's good to know. How was combat? It was just
It
you're just
was pretty
whacking
straightforward.
away.
You hit click, 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 click. It's just like the
There's
rest of the
no
game.
there's no combos, nothing like that. It's just simple
No,
swiping out your
it's.
sword, right?
Well, I know I hit him with my pickaxe.
Oh, you didn't even have a sword yet.
No,
Oh, that's right.
I had to defend myself with what I had.
You did, and we're proud of you. But what else did you like about this game?
I agree with you that the game audio was like not obtrusive. Does that make sense? Like it is, it just kind of fades into the background and isn't like annoying. Like for a game like this, you don't want to be distracted by that. It would get in the way, I think.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, I think the art style was simpler than I originally thought, uh, and I like kind of complained about that to you previously, off air. But
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, once I was actually playing the game, it didn't bother me, and everything was communicated pretty clearly. Even though the resolution in the game is very simple and very like 8-bit, maybe 16
You know
bit.
what this the art kind of reminded me of? I was just thinking about it as I was looking at the game or thinking about the game again. It reminded me of if they took Castle Crashers and then smushed it down and made it like even more pixel art ish looking. Do you remember that game, Castle Crashers?
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with your assessment. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good way of saying it. Yeah.
Like I guess Super Meat Boy is another one.
Yes,
That kind of style of art. Um,
absolutely.
I also I have to applaud them for the interface. The UI was super simple and very easy to use. I mean, granted, yes, there's not much in the game, but we've played through a couple of games already where we were just like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
They should just hire these guys to make their UI because it just made sense. Everything was in its proper place. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I did want to point that out.
And it gives you like those little pop-up alerts when there's something to kind of look at. So like it's
Yep.
like, oh, you got a skill point, and it's like blinking over here, like, hey, you got a skill point. You probably want to go look at that.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty well laid out and communicated the game pretty well.
Yeah. I did I also liked when you did level up, it like the game cheered for you essentially, like
Yes.
like exploded, like there was like kind of I want to see even like fireworks or something that happened when you leveled up. So I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. It made me feel good about myself, and I when I did achieve that, so good on them for that, for making me feel positive.
That's important.
Yeah, absolutely. What is
Um,
this? You talked about Killer Queen. What is this about?
oh, okay. So there's a game called Killer Queen,
Okay.
and in Killer Queen, which is a very like indie, the art style is very simple or whatever. You, it's all about the mechanics of the game, right? So the mechanics in Killer Queen are that you have to win a team-based battle against another team, but you can do it one of three different ways.
Hmm.
You can do it by killing their queen. You can do it by getting enough like points together and like harvesting these berries and like filling out a grid, or you can do
Hmm.
it by riding this snail across a finish line. And
Okay.
so, I mean, you have to play it. But anyway, what I'm trying to communicate in my note here is that just like that game Killer Queen has multiple ways for you to advance and kind of
Hmm.
like score points or win. This game also too, while it is about clicking and crafting and things like that, as you get those skill points, you get to pick like how you're advancing through the game, which explains how your hour and my hour look different.
Hmm. That's
because
very true.
you probably put the points into different things than I did, and that's why our characters and our games kind of advanced differently.
Yep. I will. That's true. Yeah, like you mentioned, there is a skill tree, and then you can pick however you wanted to kind of advance. Right? There's the I think it was farming. There was gathering,
Mm-hmm.
and no, farming was gathering. Sorry, that's that part. And then like you could go full on like being a badass, like try to be a I guess a dungeon hunter, or what do they call them? Dungeon slayer. Anyway, you get my point. Um, and or you can go and build like cities and stuff like that. You could be more
Mm-hmm.
in that kind of aspect. So yeah, it was cool to see that kind of like and that and just between us, like yeah, how you said it, it just played out differently. So that was cool. Um, that's the one other thing I will want to point it out. I want to point out because this is like a crafting kind of almost. I want to say even it's almost kind of survival game too,
Yeah.
right? Um, I really appreciate that there's only one thing you need to manage, and that's energy.
Yes.
You know, there's I mean, we've played already a couple of survival games where you had to like you're thirsty, you're hungry, you're sleepy, etc. Like you had to like all these different things that your
Yeah.
character can feel. You had to manage. Where this is just like you know you feel hungry or you don't have, you're exhausted.
Right.
That's it. I was like, cool. I accept that. I will do what I have to do.
Yeah. It's nice to only have 1 meter to watch.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But those are some of the likes that we had. Let's get
Yes.
into what we didn't like.
Oh. Oh boy. Okay. So I mentioned it at the top of the episode. I accidentally threw away and wasted resources way too many times.
How
Where
do
I
you?
just
I'm surprised that you could do that. I know I could. I knew I could use them a lot, but I didn't throw anything away. I
yeah.
guess I
So
wasn't
like
the same
okay.
way.
So did you get to the point where you could catch fairies to for health? Yeah. Okay. So Legend of Zelda style, you can run around catching fairies for health,
Okay.
but if you accidentally tap, if you use the item and the item's sitting in the same toolbar with your like pickaxe and your shovel, like, whoop, there goes. You just used it. You know, I did
Okay.
that way too
Okay.
many times.
I thought you meant like
And
you can actually drop
oh,
the
you
item.
can. You can do that too.
Oh.
And I did that,
Oh.
and that, and that made me mad too. Where I
Oh.
accidentally dropped, because that's how they say it, drop. Like I was trying to figure out how to use something or eat something or whatever I was trying to do, and I just like it didn't even just drop it on the map for me to pick it up again. They're just gone. It just
Ugh.
disappeared. And I was like,
Into the
man,
ether.
it's like that
Yeah.
made me upset.
What else did you?
It's bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
I also felt like I was constantly hungry. So while there was only 1 meter to manage, it was like constantly in the red.
Yeah. I
That
feel like
might
every
just
time I was
be
like
me.
whacking away at a yeah, like every time I felt like I was just whacking away at a you know an iron ore deposit or something like that. It was like two swings in. He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, come on, man. I've got kids. I already know how to deal with this. I think, but now I got to deal with it with this video game guy. I was like, damn it, you know. But I I just I also didn't like the how the game was so grindy.
Yeah.
It felt like that, and I these kind of games like you got to give me some sort of dangle some sort of carrot in front of me to keep me motivated. And it was just so much of this like, okay, I see that I have to build these things, I but going towards my next negative, I feel like there wasn't a sense of direction. And I think you pointed this out too.
Yeah.
You just kind of were dropped in. I feel like they started with like almost like a tutorial of things, and then like it abruptly stops. Like I think they tell you like how to build your first um
Structure.
like structure, right? And then after that, it was like, okay, cool, go do it. I'm like, do what? What do I have to do? What's my motivation? Again, it's like another motivation
Yeah.
game.
No,
But
I did run into a bit of the same problem that we had with the goat simulator, which is
Right.
I need more direction. Like for me to productively spend my hour doing something and getting progressing the game, I need some, like mission directive, like this is what you should be doing now. And the difference between the two games, between Goat Simulator and this, is that dangling of the carrot for me in the sense of like, oh, I can harvest, I can collect things.
Mm,
That's kind of enough for me to
true.
lose track of time and just do that.
Yeah.
But like by the end of my game or end of my hour, I had like too many rocks, like too many. Like
Yeah.
why did I harvest them so many? Because they were there, but
Yeah.
like it wasn't a productive usage of my time, and that's because the game wasn't like go get this to build
Yeah.
this. I mean, you can pin recipes and I guess do that
Hmm.
for yourself, but you need to know what you should be building. And I
Right.
guess the problem is that in this game they're giving you the freedom to make that up for yourself. But that's maybe for me, and it sounds like for you, too much freedom.
Yes, absolutely. It's like, and I, it might be just this era of gamers now, right? Because I feel like that sense of like total freedom people like gobble up.
Yeah,
This is one of them. Obviously, Minecraft. I mean, GTA Online is still going on,
yeah,
and it's crazy. Like, I it's just not my cup of tea, unfortunately. But um, I thought that I don't, and this game is not. It's a single player game. I thought this game could be fun if it was multiplayer.
they were going to make multiplayer for it, and then it just didn't happen. And there's drama associated with this game that
Oh,
I'd rather not get into. I read up a little
okay.
bit on it, um, but there's disputes between the developers and things like that. So
Interesting.
there was planned stuff for this game that just never came out. And among them, I think, was multiplayer, which is maybe why you thought that there would be, and why I thought it's a game that would lend itself to multiplayer. This would be
Oh,
a
absolutely.
fun, like the two of us building something together could be really great.
Yeah.
Like Grounded is, or
Hmm.
a lot of these Minecraft too, right?
Yeah.
Like you can create community around a game like this.
Absolutely. The one thing also I want to point out, while there wasn't that much like character management, I think you touched on this also. The inventory and crafting management can get pretty overwhelming too.
Yeah.
Like there's just like because there's so many things you can build, and with all those different things, there's so many items or materials that you need for those things. And then it's like you have to do like the math game of like, okay, if I want to build this, I need this many things, but then I need to make sure that I can harvest this much. And then it was just
Yeah.
it's going all over the place. I was like, I don't want to do math. I want to just play a game. So it's
It does sometimes move into the this is another job
yeah.
um, kind of game, which
Mhm.
some people are really into.
Yeah.
Uh, do you have any other notables, any other thoughts, anything that this reminded you of or whatnot?
Well, notables we kind of talked about like how the art style kind of reminded me of like Super Meat Boy and Castle Crashers, but
Right.
I was surprised, and this maybe because of what you just pointed out with the developer issues. This does not have cloud or Xbox anywhere.
Huh.
It's not compatible with that. So, like your saves on your Xbox do not work on that PC, and vice versa. I was disappointed to see that, but you know, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
that stinks.
Yeah. What about you,
Um,
Sam?
for me, this game scratched an itch that like the collecty kind of games that I like to play do for me. So like Pokemon, like in
Yeah.
Pokemon, I need to like max out the number of Pokeballs I can carry around and like catch them all and all that sort of stuff. This kind of game, or a game like this, sits right in there, and it's very like engaging in a
Yep.
like you got to keep clicking, got to keep moving, can't sit still. Like every second is a wasted moment to get more stuff. So I guess that's cool if you're into that. I also wanted to point out that the developers did have fun with the flavor text on items. So like if you go into your inventory and look at the flavor text on some of the items, there's fun things in there like sand and how coarse it is and how it gets everywhere. Like I was
Nice.
like, yeah, okay. You scored a
Okay.
point with me with this item description.
Nice. All right. Well, it's time to. I mean, I think we kind of
Yeah.
we kind of already ruined the surprise here, but yes, are we keeping this or we're passing on this, Tom?
Well, I think the game is fun to play, but I can't imagine myself giving it the amount of time it would require for me to play. And that's mostly because of my own gameplay style. So, like, I spent an hour playing this and got nowhere. So, like, I can imagine how much time I could dump into this, and I don't have that time to do. Not for this game. You got to be the next Pokemon title. Sorry.
I'm totally in agreement with you. I thought it was a cute game. I thought it was interesting to play for the hour, but there's just way too many games, like even in my backlog, that I'd rather play, and this is just not have as much of a compelling um, like game loop or whatnot for me to continue to play this. So yeah, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on this. Sorry
C'est
for
la vie.
Archer. It is life. That's in English. Anyway, so let us know what your thoughts are on this game. And you can always hit us up on Twitter at TC1H1D. You can watch us play our games on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And obviously you can listen to our podcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can watch us there too. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, or comment down on the comments below over there too. We've got that now too, so that's all fancy.
We're all over the place, Chris.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Well, almost everywhere. But
And we're also on Good Pods, right?
we're on Good
That's a
Pods,
thing.
and we are part of the Quit the Bill podcast network. So obviously, with them, you can get the latest in entertainment, gaming, and entertainment news. And we're part of a bigger network of podcasts partners with them. So check out the app. We've got an app on the Android store. Well, not us, but Quit the Build does. So you can check us out on the app there, and all the other things that are going on with Quit the Build. So yeah, but now we got to find out what we're playing next.
That is something that we have to do.
Let's see what is in store for us from the surprise me button. So,
Do you think it's another roguelike?
Oh, most likely. But
Did I jinx
we're
it?
about to find out. We're about to find out, Tom. So here we go. Crisis 2 Maximum Edition.
I have never played Crisis.
I played the first one for a little bit.
Well, I can play it on the Xbox, so we're good.
Nice. So here we go. Not a roguelike. It is a first person shooter and one of those games that everyone made a meme out of. So
Yeah, will it run
we're going to
Crisis
check it
2?
out. Yeah. We're about to find out. So we will let you all know on our next episode. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching or listening. And we will talk to you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.